I believe tonight we have Jade Battle who's going to lead us in the pledge to the flag.
You good?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Remind you, please, if you have a cell phone and you have not silenced it, to do so at this time so that we don't have them going off during the meeting. I believe the first thing on our agenda is a recognition. Dr. Holman?
Yes. So at this time, we're going to have Ms. Shields, our secondary supervisor, to come up and recognize We Are FC Art Contest.
Yeah, so I'll give a quick backstory. You all may be aware, but I would love to share this again. Earlier in the school year, I and a couple of my coworkers had a wonderful idea to do a We Are FC art contest. So I reached out to Miss Jamie Olson, our district art lead, and she ran with this art project. And that's what you see hanging on the back wall. Each of our schools submitted an art piece that the students had freedom of their creativity of what they wanted to draw, just something that resembled Franklin County to them. And then we did a little PR contest on Facebook and on social media, selected our overall district winner. So it's my pleasure to introduce two very special people to you tonight. And I'm going to ask them to come up here. First, I would like to introduce Miss Riley Stovall. Miss Stovall is the art teacher at Franklin County High School. She's one of our new teachers this year, so she is finishing out her first year. Riley, you can come on up here. And then I'd also like to introduce you to Paisley Milraney. Paisley is a 10th grade student at Franklin County High School, one of Miss Stovall's students, and Paisley won our art contest. And her picture is the top right picture, the very top. That was the overall district winner. And I will tell some fun facts about Paisley. She has told me that she next year will be the president of the FFA chapter at Franklin County High School. And she loves to weld. And I've seen some of her artwork. She did welding. So Paisley is a well-rounded student. So it is my pleasure to recognize Paisley as our district We Are FC winner. We'll take a picture. Do you mind just turning this way? We'll have them right there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I believe we have a request to address the board this time. Christopher Alonso, you come forward. Podium. I would just remind you that for board policy, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you. I was a substitute teacher. I've substituted from preschool all the way through high school. I've done it for the last 3 years. And I received an email on the 16th of April. It said due immediately that I was not to be able to substitute anymore. If I had any questions, to contact Dr. Aesop. I think that's how I pronounce his name. I'm not sure. I contacted him. He told me that I had done something inappropriate. I asked what it was. He would not tell me. I asked him again. He would not tell me, and he hung up on me. And I'm not exaggerating. He hung up point blank, rudely, and just... So I sent him an email. I've retained all emails. I've sent emails to everyone, including some board members. I've talked to Dr. Holman. He's told me that this is a moot point because y'all have no ability to counteract or to intervene on this issue. I have talked to people. I've talked to Senator Bowman. She's very interested in this subject. As a Christian, I went through what Matthew 18 says. I brought it to the person who made the accusation. I took it to several others. I took it to the head, Dr. Holman. I believe if I have done something wrong, the Bible teaches that sin does not want to be exposed to the light. I would not be bringing this forward for an inquiry Because I know that the schools have tapes and video to protect the children in case of such things as school shootings or things of that nature. I know they're there because I've seen the cameras, I've seen the videotapes in the offices of the schools. So I'm not asking for anything that is not out there that's, I think, that's extraneous. I want to know what I've been accused of. Because at this point I believe what has happened is slander. Because if I was to say, I have a picture, what's your name, sir?
Lance Williams.
Mr. Lance, what if I said I have pictures of you doing something inappropriate? But I'm not going to tell you what those pictures are, but I'm going to give them to your wife. How would that make you feel?
I've done nothing wrong. I don't got no problems.
But down deep in your heart, you're going to wonder what those pictures are, aren't you?
Sure.
Now, that's how I'm feeling. What is it that someone said I have done when I know I've done nothing wrong? What if I go in and interview for a church and they come and say, why did you get terminated from the school? And I say, I don't know. They won't tell me. How do you think that's going to fly? There's not a church in a million miles that's going to touch you. I believe I deserve at least to be told what it is that someone said I did. If they don't want me to sub, fine. I think I was a good sub. I have teachers that like me. Dr. David Carson was here. He saw me sub. There's teachers that are in this room I've subbed for. There's kids right now at Deckard. When I go to pick my daughter up, when they see me, they want to know, why haven't you been here? Why haven't you come to see us? There's people that know me that know that I am not a person that would ever hurt a child. Would never say anything inappropriate. I've been a minister for 32 years. I've been a fireman. I started my fire career right down from Broadview School as a fireman. I don't believe after 32 years of that, I would start hurting and acting inappropriate towards children. Miss Schultz can tell you, I've always had an integrity, even when I didn't do homework. I wouldn't lie about it. I'd tell her, I studied, I just can't remember it. I don't lie. I stood at 21 years of age, let my mom whip my butt in front of my friends because I had the integrity to respect my mom that much. And I'm not about to let someone behind a desk drag my name through the mud. And if this, I want to end it peacefully. I want to end it tonight. But whatever we have to do to end it, if it takes, because I've already talked to the school's attorneys up in Nashville. I talked to Mr. Cagle. I was told that I needed to speak to him. He knows nothing about it yet. But if we have to go that far, I will, because slander is not, it's not a victimless crime. And guys, I just want to know that I didn't want to come here. This was a very hard choice for me to make, because this is not who I am. But I appreciate your time, and I ask that y'all handle the rest of the school business as it needs to be taken care of, because my daughter is a member of y'all's school, and y'all need to handle that business so she can get the best education she can get. And thank you.
Thank you. Miss Patty, do we have anybody signed up for public input? Okay, that takes us to item G on the agenda, which is approval of the agenda. Board members, please take a look, see if there's questions or additions, and if not, we'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Williams, and a second by Ms. Roberts to approve the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Takes us to item H, which is approval of the consent agenda. Basically, that has our work session minutes and our April 14 board minutes, and our field trips on there, and the Move to Stand Youth Coalition Conference, I think was on the agenda as in Pulaski. That's actually in Martin, Tennessee, at UT Martin. And then Franklin County and Huntland FBLA is going to the national, I guess, leadership conference in Anaheim, California. Both of those occur in June.
Is that like a competition or just
FBLA?
knowledge-based?
I really don't know for sure if it is.
It's their national competition. We have first place winners here, and they are going on the national.
That's good. Yeah.
What does FBLA stand for?
Future Business Leaders of America. Yeah. Okay, so any other questions on that?
It's exciting. It's exciting because I get to do that.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
I have a motion to approve the consent agenda by Mr. Williams, second, Ms. Marhinsky. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries as well. That takes us, Dr. Holman, to the director's report.
Yes, so we will start out tonight highlighting our federal programs, and Ms. Crabtree is going to do that both for federal programs and special education.
Dr. Gwynn was not able to be here tonight, but this is our annual report that we have to give to you all that we are asking for your approval on. So this is our FY26 Consolidated Funding Application, CFA. We love acronyms around here. So just so you know, on our CFA, it contains all of our ESEA, another acronym of programs, which is Title I, Title II, Title III, and Title IV, and also our special ed side, which is IDEA, and it's IDEA Part B and preschool. So the state emailed us probably 2 months ago, I would say, and they want our application in, they want it completed, and they want to be able to review it and approve it, and they said, use your FY25 allocations. So they loaded in our last year's allocations until they know more and we know more. So when you see these numbers, these are based on last year's numbers. Title I last year, 1.3. We served Clark Memorial, Cowan, Deckard, North Lake, North Middle, Rock Creek, and South Middle. Title II, those fund our instructional coaches as well as professional development that are sending school-based requests and things like that. Title III, we received $21,000 last year, and those are just supplemental materials and supplies. I know our EL teachers presented last month, and those are strictly for those teachers to use with our EL students, our English learners. And then Title IV, it's our well-rounded, safe, and healthy, and this year we're going to use it to support our new science adoption with our just supplemental materials and supplies, because a lot of what they use in the classroom will be consumable kinds of things, and they're going to need those replaced. IDEA, I can't speak to it a whole lot, but you see where Toby's allocation was last year, about $1.4 million, and as we all know, we have special ed students all across our county. It funds 2.3 certified positions, 29 classified, and 6 bus monitors. Also intervention materials, PPE materials, staff development, and things such as that. Her IDEA pre-K is $57,000. We have inclusion pre-Ks at 4 of our schools, and these allocations fund 1 EA with their benefits and instructional materials, which, as you all know, if it's only funding one, then we know that our general purpose budget is picking up the rest of those. Toby did have one highlight she was really, really excited about, and was sorry she could not be here. And I'm just going to have to read this. She said, this report looks for transition outcomes for students with disabilities to see if they are enrolled in higher education, competitively employed, enrolled in some other post-secondary education, or employed within 1 year of leaving high school. And Franklin County outperformed the state on all measures. So she was really proud of that and wanted to make sure that you all were aware of this accomplishment and what our high school just a highlight. Does anybody have any questions, at least on the ESEA side, that I can answer? Okay, I would just appreciate board approval tonight.
Make a motion to approve the FY '26 consolidated application for IDEA ESEA.
Thank you.
Second. We have a motion by Mr. Williams, a second by Ms. Lincoln to approve. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, tonight we will, as each board meeting, we spotlight our school, and tonight's spotlight is on Clark Memorial. So Mr. Carson.
The best thing to spotlight for our school this year, we've had a good school year, but anytime you have a basketball team that goes undefeated and wins all the regular season games, wins the regular season championship, and then wins the tournament championship, I think they deserve some recognition. Our coaches, if y'all would stand up, Miss Tiffany Kennerly, Miss Kayla Dameron. We only have about half the team. I'm thinking soccer and softball may have kept some of them away tonight. But if you don't mind, I'd like for them each to come up here and introduce themselves and tell them the great news, okay? We can start any way you want to.
My name is Riker Van, and I am a point guard and a shooting guard.
Fifth grade.
How would you say you want to just like scoot down, then you could all be standing there for a nice picture when you're all done?
I'm in 5th grade. My name is Scarlett Van. I'm in 4th grade. I'm a point guard and a shooting guard.
My name is Krishay Simmons, and I'm a center, and I'm in 5th grade.
My name is Jake Battle. I'm in 5th grade, and I was a power forward. My name is Wanda Williams. I'm in 5th grade, and I was a center. My name is Dakaya Bean, and I am in 5th grade, and I was a point guard. My name is Addison Champion. I'm in 5th grade, and I was a guard.
Are we all in there? There we go. Be careful, man, because we can crop you out. Make sure you're there. That's nice.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
All right. So this time we will spotlight our coordinator of school health, Mr. Hawkins-Smith.
And I was not put on a time limit, thank you.
Yes, you were.
All right. So, if you remember back about 17 weeks ago, the school board was put on a staff wellness walking and exercise program. So, it went well, and if you read my emails, you probably learned a lot about Did You Know? So I hope you read those and learned a lot. I was going to give you a quiz, but I'm going to let that fly for now. Anyway, I know you're interested in some of the results. I'm not giving all the results, just the top 3. And I know 2 that got kind of competitive, and 2 of them were competitive with Miss Walker, and she didn't even know it. But, yeah, they was worried about your steps. Lance, not yours. Anyway, so Lance, I need a little drum roll. Drum roll. Can I get a drum roll? Something? Yeah. Thank you. All right. In 3rd place with 586,069 steps, that equates to 293 miles. Dr. Holman. I knew he was not going to be so happy about that. In his defense, his watch has not been working great here lately.
Yeah. It's walk.
We could all say that.
That's what he said.
This thing has not been off.
In second place, with 616,736 steps, with 308 miles walked, Miss Walker. And just look here what I got. Look here. In first place with 673,295 steps, 336 miles, 0.64, Dr. Awesome. I'll need that back in October. If his watch would have been working right. Okay, so next, threat assessments. I got to give these reports every few months. So total for the school year threat assessments was 59 over 11 schools. That's not too bad. In the elementary, we had 18. In middle school, we had 16. In high school, we had 26. 2 involved 2 plastic guns, 3 involved knives, 4 social media threats, and 50 verbal threats. And those ranged anywhere from kids on the playground to in classrooms to some that were more serious. So it's an array. Anyway, I had mentioned back, I guess on the January board meeting, that we had begun the B3 program, and we were talking about the active kids in classrooms, and I had started B3 at Calvin Elementary School. So the result of that, 100% after surveying the faculty thought that it had a positive impact in their school. 75 said that students enjoyed class more, and 100% of them made adjustments to the program because the program had some flaws. It needed too much equipment for some of the classrooms, so they did some little tweaks to it, and the kids liked it because they had a reason and momentum to get more active in the classroom. And because of that, 75% of them said that kids just like being in class better. Bottom line, active kids are going to learn better and they like class better. So anyway, that's what we were pushing. We also pushed at Deckard Elementary School, we ran the pilot program Playing with a Purpose. After that survey, 100% said it gave students an opportunity to explore more games, because usually when you go outside, some kids are only going to swing, some kids are only going to walk around and talk, or maybe some just play football or basketball, but they got a variety of things to do, and they learn, maybe I like soccer now, and I like baseball now. Right? So anyway, halfway through, it wasn't going great. By the end, after we did some tweaks, like you have to do with any program, by the end, it was going great. So those 2 programs are working, and we'll get with some other schools about maybe implementing. But you'd be surprised that, and again, I'm on the state team, the worry about kids not being active even on the playground. So these programs get you not only active on the playground, but in the classroom also. Okay, so, what I was going to add with that, Playing with a Purpose also decreased the discipline problems on the playground by 90%. When they go out there and they have specific things to do and specific teams, and teachers or parents, DES had parents come in and coach and rep and some of that stuff to get points for. You'd have to ask Megan about all that. But when they actively had something to do, they didn't get in trouble as much. So when they went to the playground, they didn't get bored and fight or get in trouble in whatever they do on the playground. So discipline they are decreased. And also in the classroom, when you have something to do and you're active, you get in less trouble. Bored kids get in trouble. When you give them something to do and get them active, they make better grades and they get in less trouble. So it worked. How's that? Okay, that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Dr.
All right, next project updates. As you can see, once again, Ms. Clark keeps us in to know what's going on in our maintenance department. Can't tell enough how much I appreciate his leadership there. The Rock Creek roof, I'll let you read that, has been received. The bid has been received. The middle school football fields, new roof has been installed at the concession stand. Also, fresh coats of paint. Playground at Clark Memorial. Exterior doors at Deckard since March the 14th. 200 work orders have been received and 138 have been closed out, leaving 62. So once again, thank him for his work there. And then our personnel report, Dr. Austin.
Okay, so we had a very busy month in the HR office, 3 pages on the report. Retirements, resignations, some transfers, and we've employed several. We will have probably another lengthy report next month. Continue to have a lot of applicants for our positions, so we're very happy to see that. We have 39 positions open that's already changed. I did this first thing this morning knowing that it was going to change. We've had some resignations and some other changes, so we'll be opening up some more positions.
That's all.
Stephen, what's going on at North out in the back? Where they're digging and...
Oh, they're fixing to, actually Suzanne Mitchell had some grant money that she had, and they were putting, there was a concrete pad there for several years ago. Right there back in. They're gonna put a pavilion on it now. It's like a, I don't know what to do with it. But we don't want to say outdoor. We don't want to say that.
But there's a pavilion.
It's part of the ISN, the Innovative School Model Grant that started, this is the 4th year. We'll start the 4th year this upcoming school year. And that was one of the projects in that. It's related to the STEM, so they can do outside STEM projects and then many other projects as well. Project-based learning is a big thing that's coming back. What you've done with problem-based learning, so activities with that also can be.
I just wondered because I kept going by and I couldn't see anything that was going on except the equipment was there. So, and I knew that pad was there before the old building was torn down.
Yeah.
Is where the kids were standing to be picked up, which never had a top on it, which I never really understood. But anyway, that's history. Another thing, Dr. Holman, about the roof at Rock Creek. When do we expect to be able to approve that bid? Is it? Okay. That's 2 questions for tonight. Okay, next on our agenda is the legislative update. And before I call on Ms. Sarah to give us that, I want to just say something here, and I think the rest of the board members will concur with what I'm saying. Lots of rumors flying around that we are on a mission or have on our agenda to close schools in the county. Nothing could be further from the truth. It's not our agenda to close Swanee. That's the one that we keep hearing about over and over again. Not at all. So if anybody asks you about that, please tell them that is not true. We want it to be as strong as it can be. We want to provide an education for those children like the ones down in the valley just as well. And we're not in the business of closing schools. So with that said, Ms. Sarah.
Well, then before I get into my legislative report, I'll just take a quick moment. So if you're up here from Swanee, you want to give a quick raise of your hand. Hello, fabulous Swanee people. And I want to take a moment to allow Dr. Rob Perigin to say a quick hello.
Hello.
That was quick.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. And thank you for your leadership of our public schools here in Franklin County. Got great kids that come out of the schools. We enjoy having them on our unit at the university. And our children in Swanee Elementary are really grateful for the support. It's a great little school. Both of our children attended Swanee Elementary and changed their lives as little people. So thank y'all very much. Appreciate the opportunity to say hello.
Thank you. So, the legislative report. The General Assembly adjourned. Oh, wait. The General Assembly adjourned on April 22nd. So, any legislating that's going to be done is probably done for the year unless they have had a special session. So, a few bills that we watched. One of the big ones is the one nicknamed "Say Yes to Recess." That one passed. Here's what it means. Elementary school students are now supposed to have a minimum of 40 minutes of physical activity per school day. That was amended because before they said, oh, it has to be this much time in the morning, this much in the afternoon. Now it's just 40 minutes in a school day. Middle school and high school students are supposed to have a minimum of 90 minutes of physical activity per week. What counts? I feel like Chris Hawker-Smith's thing was sort of a segue into this one. Oh, active kids learn better. Walking, jump roping, volleyball. Walking to and from class is not supposed to count. It does not include time during which a student is permitted to use an electronic device. It does not include time spent by a student in PE. And a student shall not be withheld from participating in physical activity as a form of punishment. So again, this is on top of, because elementary school students are required to have at least 2 PE sessions per week for a minimum of 60 minutes. And this physical activity is supposed to be, this kind of free-form physical activity is on top of that. And for our elementary students who have recess as a regular thing, maybe less of a stretch, middle school and high school, it'll be exciting to see how this one plays out. I'm a fan of the not withholding physical activity as a form of punishment though. Okay, bills we watched that did not become law. This one is kind of a mixed bag. Then the pre-K funding bill, and I believe Jenny referenced that earlier. Currently, as we've said many times, the special ed peer model pre-K does not receive state funding in the TISA formula, and next year it still won't. It was placed behind the budget, but they didn't work it into the budget. But that still means it's alive because next legislative session is still part of this one. So we're hoping that will come back, but again, being in touch with legislators, letting them know that we would like this to be funded as part of TISA will help bring money to the district and provide for the 4 schools where we have those preschools. The next one is the one that initially authorized LEAs and public charter schools to refuse to enroll students who are unlawfully present in the United States. And we passed a resolution against that one. And I think I told you, but Hamilton County modified ours and passed that as well. And so that's pretty exciting because as far as I know, we're the only 2 schools in the state that passed resolutions against this one. And I love that we as Franklin County did that first. The legislature, there were amendments. One specifically argued that Plyler versus Doe, which was a Supreme Court case, which is part of where this comes from, which held that illegal alien children living in the United States could not be excluded from a free public education based upon their immigrant status. And they said that they should be allowed to, so now it's that schools can charge them, not that they can bar them, but charge them. So the suspicion is that they didn't quite have the votes in the House to pull that one off, so that one was also pulled, but we expect that that's likely that it will come back next year, so something to keep on it, and maybe we'll look to pass a resolution to for TSBA in the fall. So those are kind of the big things. I'll share some of the other policies over the coming months when things are dull. A couple things from national news now. Texas has a voucher bill. Looks to be way more expensive because Texas has way more students. And then another one was that the Trump administration was cutting $1 billion in school mental health grants, citing conflict of priorities because I think they were looking to help support underrepresented students to go through school to help provide these services. So just a couple of national updates. Anyone have anything else that they know of worth sharing? All right. If you want to contact legislators, you can go to our agenda and follow these links, or just go online and do so. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that takes us to section K on the agenda, which is finance. Ms. Jenny? The first items there are just to receive and file, one being the monthly report and the intercategory amendments.
Motion to receive and file the April 25 monthly report and the April 25 intercategory amendment.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Williams, a second by Ms. Roberts. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries. And there's also budget amendments in there, and these are resolutions, and we will have to approve these.
So Joe, is this something we've done in the past? Is this something we've done in the past?
Mm-hmm.
Made amendments to the, okay.
Would you just kind of explain
Talk about the resolution.
About the fund balance.
So basically what this does, when you pull up this year's budget, the GP budget, and then just go into So on the budget that we present to you, there are multiple columns. So, of course, the proposed budget's on the very last column. The two center columns are current year amended and estimated. We're required to go in and estimate what we're going to spend for the rest of this current year. And that filters down and tells us what our fund balance should be. We're required to get within 25% of that fund balance every year. If we don't get within 25% of that fund balance, it's strictly paperwork telling the state that, hey, I messed up, I guess wrong, we're either over or under. In this case, we put back significantly more than we had estimated for last year, which is a good problem to have. So it's just a simple, it's just housekeeping, is all that is. We're not amending it, we're just amending what because we have to send this to the comptroller's office, so we're just amending what we sent them.
Gotcha. I just didn't remember doing that previously.
It doesn't happen very often.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was more of a difference than expected?
Yes.
Okay, that's kind of where I was going with that. Thank you.
Any other questions on that?
Motion to approve the resolution amending the beginning fund balance and the May 2025 GP budget amendment.
Click on the May 25, that is where at the very bottom is where the resolution to pull money for Rock Creek's roof.
Okay.
So it will go to County Commission on the 19th, and we will issue that purchase order on the 20th so that they can get started as soon as it's out.
All right, we have a motion on the floor by Mr. Williams.
Second.
Second by Ms. Roberts. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries. That takes us to the proposed budget for next year. Jenny has worked hours and hours and hours on this document. And I really, I think it's something that we can work with. And I think it really, it's not a false sense of security, but I feel better about our financial situation than I did earlier on. So I guess just open it up. If you all have questions about the document that she can speak to, I'm sure she'll be glad to. This does include the additional 25th year for our teachers, certified staff, and an additional 16th-year step for our classified people. There's a 4.5 increase in only first line of certified, which is to get that up to where the governor wants it to be. And the other certified personnel will receive their step raises when appropriate, and a 3.5% raise. And I believe our classified are 3.5, the same. And step raises where that's appropriate too.
Motion to approve the FY26 GP school budget and all other associated budgets.
Second.
Oh, and to include the large growth that we anticipated to be $2,073. But if that does not come through, then we will forego that huge amount and struggle on.
We have a motion to approve the 2026 GP.
Second.
Second by Ms. Jones. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries.
Can we include that motion to include the 26 federal cafeteria and salary?
You want to lump them all together?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I meant.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah.
Well, you want to amend it?
No, that's what when I said all associated, that's what I meant.
And you're seconding? Okay, we're good to go then. Any other discussion? Mercy. Hallelujah. Yeah, isn't that the truth? How long have we been till we got here? All right, that takes us into new business. First item there is our service agreements for next year. Dr. Holman, you just want to briefly tell us about those.
Yes, so these are service agreements that we have throughout the course of each year: ambulance service, the drug and alcohol screening, and then the vaccinations and pre-employment drug screening that all employees, those that are recommended for employment, have to go through.
And these are the same vendors that we have used in years past, correct? Okay. But we didn't need a motion.
Motion to approve the FY26 athletic ambulance service agreement, the DOT drug and alcohol screening, and the vaccinations and pre-employment drug screening agreements.
Second. We have a motion by Mr. Williams to approve, a second by Ms. Leakey. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries. Next item there is our science textbook adoptions. Those were all on the approved list. I'm assuming that these are all the ones that were vetted by our textbook adoption committees, and they're in agreement on these, and they are from, I believe, McGraw-Hill, correct?
Correct.
This is something we have to do every textbook adoption, is to approve what they're going to order.
6 years.
How long do they have those over the materials?
Just giving out.
They started receiving their samples in December. And it's an 8-year adoption.
Is it 8?
They changed it.
They changed it. Well, 6, was it not?
Years ago, yeah.
8 years. Yeah.
Find more planets, brother. Motion to approve the certificate of local adoption for science textbooks and the district selection from state-approved science materials list.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Williams, a second by Mr. Roberts, to approve the textbook adoptions. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That carries as well. That takes us, Dr. Alsop, to item 3, which is policy 4.214, the use of artificial intelligence programs.
Okay, so this is the only policy that the committee recommended that we look at this month, and this is the last policy until the fall, by the way. And so this has to do with the use of artificial intelligence, and so we were required to have a policy for this school year, and we looked for some. TSBA gave us a suggested policy, and we looked at some other policies in the local school districts. And so that's kind of what we went with, because we really didn't know how we wanted the policy to read, or what we wanted individuals, students, or employees to be able to, how much artificial intelligence we wanted them to use. So it's grown. Artificial intelligence has grown, and the fact is, it's not going away. And so we need to come up with a policy where we can allow it to be used for instructional purposes. And so we feel like we've added some things to the policy that will allow that, and this would be for grades 6 through 12 with some, some few safeguards and, information to parents. So this is a recommendation that our policy committee has.
Is there training for teachers to learn and understand how best?
There will need to be some training, yes.
So there isn't a plan for it yet, but there?
Correct.
Okay.
I know some of our English teachers are already using some software out there to spot, Chat GPT papers. Our student rep was like, she's aware of that too.
Any other questions from Paul?
Motion to approve policy 4.214.
We have a motion to approve policy. Ms. Leakey?
Use of artificial intelligence.
Second. A second by Ms. Roberts. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries as well. There's several scheduled meetings. First of all, the school committee meeting that originally was scheduled for tomorrow night has been canceled. So I assume we'll pick up with that later on, maybe next month, whenever they choose to meet again with us. We have graduations this week. Huntlands is Thursday night, I believe it's 7. And at Franklin County's is on Friday night at 7. Finance Committee will meet June the 5th at 2 o'clock. Jenny, do you know when the school budget will actually come? Will it come before the finance? Okay, here we are. So keep that in mind. And of course, our regular board meeting is June the 9th. Any comments, questions?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.